On today's video, we are removing our factory exhaust system and building a custom exhaust for our turbo Honda Civic. This is my first time ever trying to build an exhaust, so I'm excited. And I'm using a universal piping kit, 2.5 inch off of eBay for the install. And I also have a bunch of random pipes that I got from some guy that I sold an old turbo to. So he donated those for the exhaust build. So we'll see what we use. Stay tuned for the video. Let's go. This exhaust build was pretty much done before I turbocharged the car. So this is going to be a couple part series. You'll see how I install the exhaust, how the exhaust sounds like with the naturally aspirated engine, and then eventually you'll hear it how it sounds on the turbocharged Honda Civic R18 motor. So stay tuned for all those videos. Depending on what setup you're going with, you can see kind of how it sounds and drives, and you'll get my personal feedback from that. And one of the most exciting things I can tell you guys is Evolution teamed up with us. We got one of their metal chop saws, and that just pretty much helped us complete the tasks for this exhaust build by being able to cut the exhaust pipe and the pies that we needed for the build. So thank you, Evolution. If you guys are interested in any of their products, check them out. There will be a link in the description below. Use BullyPL to get 5% off for your order. All right, so we're right here under the Civic. We're gonna be doing a few things. One of them is taking measurements, making sure we got the right exhaust length for our cuts here, just kind of getting a baseline. And then we're going to be just getting a baseline of the angles as well. We got an angle finder, angle gauge here. So we're gonna go from the front here, pretty much right around that area where there's straight tubing. We're gonna replace everything else with 2.5 inch mild steel straight pipe. So let's get these measurements done. Four feet plus maybe 2 inches, depending on how this is gonna go. And then we're gonna run into our first angle. Yeah, roughly 30-degree angle right over here. And that's maybe 5 inches. So we're going straight the whole time. You got your first bend here to here, roughly. Then you got that second bend here. You see, now we're going up. And right here we're turning. So now, where the resonator is, we got a straight section pretty much to this connection, and I'm probably gonna try to have my own connection here. Roughly around 18 to 19 inches to the resonator tip. And then depending on where we are here, right, we have to exit straight by the bumper. So yeah, that's the plan. No idea what I'm doing. First time building an exhaust, but we're getting better every time. And compared to doing things like this where I hollowed out the factory exhaust, this is going to give us much more benefit, especially in a turbocharged application. So it just so happens that some of the pipe that I picked up from somebody actually has a couple bends in them. So if we actually take the angle finder gauge, take a quick peek, yeah, we are roughly 25 degrees for a usable elbow right over here, and on the opposite end just about 18.5 degrees. I think I'm gonna make my preliminary cut right here. Got my adapter here to transform it to 2.5 inch, and then I got my 2.5 inch pipe, and we're gonna just kind of go along with it. The first thing is just to make that cut right there. Then I can take this off the car and kind of play with the angles off the car. Just eyeballing here. That's a wrap. All right, that's pretty much the stock exhaust here. And as some of you guys already may or may not know, we modified the factory muffler and gutted everything out to try to increase sound and performance. But yeah, on the turbo setup, this factory pipe is way too small and it's very restrictive. You can see all that extra air that it will flow through the bigger pipe. And that's exactly what we want. I've been messing around a little bit with the exhaust and I'm using some of the included joints. And let me show you guys what I came up with so far. There's the adapter to 2.5 super tight right here. We might have to just hammer in the body a little bit. So I don't want this pipe to be really hanging under the car. So we might just hammer that up a little bit. Then we got a bend coming around here. Pretty decent clearance with the 90. This is the included 90. You know, it's probably gonna sit something like this right over here. And then we got another 90, which we'll have to shorten to make enough room for the line here. But we can shorten that up, probably up to here. So this will sit pretty center. We can angle this up a little bit. And then we just gotta make sure we start running maybe like a 30-degree angle on this. Straighten it out through this hole here. This is gonna be a little tricky. And then out there. I don't know about brackets. I can possibly use this bracket here for something. And then we got another mount here. I'll have to try to figure out how this is gonna hang. But so far not bad. Not bad at all, to be honest. Better than I expected. Once we shorten this pipe, this will be in the center. And then out we go through the pipe. All right, got the exhaust right here. We had to knock in this piece right here just to get some clearance. So we'll probably underrise the coat that. This is the tightest spot right over here by this heat shield. We got a 90, another 90, and then we're pointing out. This is gonna sit a little bit higher like so, and pointing out above the lower control arm. And at that point, the exhaust tip, we're just gonna have to kind of figure out and mock up. But something like that. So I kind of marked off the lines here, and I'm gonna start tack welding them and see how it goes. Got my first piece cleaned up, wiped down, prime weld, 225. Probably gonna run 55. We're doing DC, TIG, and that's pretty much all we need. Let's put some pulse flow on there. And I don't know, stainless steel to regular mild steel. Let me see if that even welds up. I got mild steel filler rod for the most part. I have one stainless steel filler rod, but I'm probably gonna go with the bigger mild steel filler rod here because you got a few gaps there that need to get filled. Anyway, I'm just gonna tack it in a few spots and then continue down with that exhaust, and hopefully as I continue everything kind of makes sense and goes together. marks on it. Looking a little bit more complete, boys. What do you think? What do you think? Let's put it on the car and see how it looks. Technically one solid piece right now for the car. So the plan is to get it somewhere at this angle. Yep, something along that line. And then that pipe goes out to the back. Man, working under the car with no lift sucks, boys. It sucks. Test fit, boys. All right, about to weld on the last piece right here for probably today. We're gonna have to weld that on with the correct angle to aim it towards the top. But very simple design, as you guys can see. Got my tripod kind of supporting the rig. Got that taped off where I need it. My scribe marks are there. And it's resting right there. Just gotta tack it on one or two spots here and then try to test fit it. I don't know if this whole thing is gonna be able to fit in the car with without having somewhere with a cut somewhere to connect it. I'd prefer it one piece, less welding and less chances of leaks, but we'll see. So either I can use this tip. This is from my brother's GSF. It actually fits the peripheral pretty nice and keeps like a lower profile, not too low. So that's option one. Option two, disregard that inner piece right now. I'm using it to balance out. I mean, it'll probably sit a little bit more in, like so. I don't know. This kind of goes down a lot lower here to fit the 4-inch tip. I like the stainless finish, but I don't know, might sit too low. My cutout's not big enough for this one. Guys, pretty much exhausted. Been spending the whole day under the vehicle. The exhaust looks pretty decent for what it is, and with the minimal amount of bends, I'm pretty happy with it. But we got a long way to go still. Finishing off the car with the last a foot or two, just getting that dialed in so that tip looks nice and straight. And let me just show you what we got right now. Couple tacks everywhere, couple tacks. I actually had to grind down some of these tacks that I did because depending on the angle, you know, there's some wiggle room between this pipe and this pipe. So I welded them on earlier, 2 tacks, and they were wrong. It kind of angled this whole pipe inward, so we had to grind it off, re-tack it. Everything else looks good, and again, the tips will be the hardest part, but we'll figure it out, guys. We got a bunch of pie cuts that we made, and one of these will have to make the perfect pie to make everything work perfectly. And again, so far so good. I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the